Okay, so what if an AI could pass a test that was literally designed to be impossible for even the best models out there? Well, today we're going to break down a new AI that did exactly that. It pulled off something a leading analyst firm was pretty sure couldn't be done. And look, this isn't just some small update. We're talking about a potential leap forward for AI.
And before we even get into how it did it, just look at this. The AI analysis firm Perplexity did not hold back. They called this new model, LELAIL, top tier and cutting edge. But the phrase that really jumps out, real competitive advantage. In the AI world, that's not just a compliment. That's basically a declaration that the rules of the game might have just changed. So how do you get a review like that? Well, not by running some standard boring benchmark test. No. You have to take on a challenge that was specifically engineered to break other AIs, a test that throws away the simple stuff and dives head first into the messy, complex world of real human conversation. All right, let's get into the test itself. So Perplexity's job was to cook up a prompt so insanely difficult that even the big names, like ChatGPT and Claude, would just fail. They had to create a prompt they couldn't solve in one shot. So let's break down this so-called impossible prompt. Okay, first, picture this. A roundtable discussion with 5 people. But here's the twist. Every single person is speaking a different language. You've got Hindi, Tamil, Bengali, Telugu, and English all going at the same time, in the same virtual room. And the AI, its job was to play the part of all 5 speakers, plus the moderator, all at once. It's wild. And this wasn't just some abstract debate either. The topic for this crazy multilingual roundtable was something really serious and grounded: digital banking and loan scams, especially how they affect people in rural communities. So the AI didn't just have to juggle languages, it had to create a totally realistic, flowing conversation about a super important issue. And this is where it gets really tough, because the difficulty just keeps stacking up. The AI couldn't just have them chat. Nope. Each speaker had to share a personal story about a scam. Then they had to ask and answer questions, all in their own language. Then they had to use culturally specific idioms, and then give practical advice. And to top it all off, the AI had to summarize the entire consensus in all 5 languages. It's just layer after layer of complexity. Oh, and here's the real kicker. The one thing that made this an absolute stress test. This wasn't a back and forth where you could guide the AI or correct it. It had to produce this entire, massive, complex, multilingual performance perfectly in one single shot. No edits, no second chances, one try. So you might be wondering, why is a prompt like this considered an AI breaker? Well, it's because it's laser focused on the specific things that even the most advanced models we use every day really struggle with. Yeah, this really lays out the gap, doesn't it? I mean, your standard AIs, they're pretty good at a single language roleplay or, basic translation. But this test, it demanded something totally different. We're talking about managing 5 dialogues at once, getting deep cultural context right, handling complicated formatting commands inside the prompt, and somehow keeping the story logical across all 5 speakers. It's a whole different level. So, the stage was set. The challenge was out there, a challenge designed to be impossible. So the big question is, how did LELAIL actually do? All right, this is where it gets really good. LELAIL took on this impossible challenge. And the result? It was nothing short of a breakthrough. And the official word from Perplexity made it crystal clear. The output wasn't just good. It was, and I'm quoting here, an outstanding demonstration of advanced, multilingual, regionally aware conversational AI. It didn't just pass the test, it totally crushed it, in a way that the analysis says other AIs just can't replicate. So, what does success even look like here? Well, LELAIL basically nailed every single part of the challenge. Maintained a coherent dialogue? Check. Showed deep cultural nuance? Yep. Flawlessly handled all that crazy formatting? You bet. It even put together real regional anti-fraud advice. And that final multi-language summary table? Perfect. A total clean sweep. But what does authenticity actually mean in this context? Because it's not just about using the right vocabulary. The AI understood really subtle cultural ideas, like readback rituals for confirming transactions, or the whole social context of loans in rural India. That goes so far beyond just translation, it's showing real, genuine understanding of the context. Look, a performance like this is way more than just a cool party trick. It really points to a huge shift in what AI conversations can even be.
We're getting a glimpse of a future with truly seamless, culturally smart interactions. And this is the grand finale, the final output. The AI took that whole complicated conversation, boiled it down to the key points, and laid it all out perfectly in this table with a column for each language. I mean, it's one thing to talk about it, but actually seeing the final product, it just makes the achievement so clear. So the big takeaway here is that we're moving way beyond simple translation. What this test really shows is the beginning of true contextual coordination. We're talking about an AI that doesn't just spit back words, but actually manages a complex multilingual conversation, understanding the flow, the culture, and everything else in real time. And that leaves us with one last massive question to think about. If an AI can pull off a flawless multilingual roundtable discussion today, what does that unlock for us tomorrow? Think about global business or education or even diplomacy. What does this really mean for our connected world? It's pretty amazing to think about.